Okay, well, thanks everyone for being here today. Today's overview is on Matrix overview of frequently asked questions on Matrix. This is scheduled for 1 hour. We will post this recording this week, probably tomorrow. And just to let you know, we do have other webinars scheduled this week, so please right here on the Matrix homepage, you can schedule for more webinars. We've got some good ones coming up here. Searching, everything you wanted to know about searching, saving searches and stuff right here. You can also managing clients. I've never done anything like this one, and I think it's going to be a really pretty cool one here. It'll take you from start to finish on adding your clients and things like that. So, you know, when you first add them, you first start doing your searches, and then you start doing work and work and work for months and months on them, and then what they see on their portal and how to manage their portal and stuff, and then finalizing it, you know, turning off their auto emails and wrapping things up with those clients. So I think that'll be a good one. And then CMAs will be Friday morning at 9. Customizing Matrix. I think CMAs won't take long. Customizing probably won't take that long either. And then another Matrix overview. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that. That's your webinar schedule for the week, and we will record all of those and post those out there for you. So in Matrix, one of the first things where I want to get started at today, and I'm not sure if people on this call have taken the training class or not taken the training class, but the one thing I always illustrate in first thing is for people to go to My Matrix and My Information. That's one of the first things you need to get started with, is setting up your information and making sure everything in here looks good, okay? So if you haven't done this already, please do this as soon as you can. When you click on My Information, you'll notice all these tabs here at the top up here, okay? Well, the first one is Information. This is just where you have your first name, last name, email address. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll notice that you can override it. So you might see an email address, and it might be an old email address for you. So you can come over here, put a check mark in there, and then you can override it like I did with my CoreLogic email address in there, okay? Now, you can also change your phone number and your website address, and you're going to see some more information down here. If it is wrong in Matrix, if you're in somewhere in Matrix and you see a bad email address or bad phone number for you, come here and change it and make sure you save it. If it shows correct here, but it's still showing incorrect somewhere else in Matrix, then you need to call Gelvar, and they will update your information, because this is about the only place where you need to come into and have control over and make sure it's showing right, okay? So if it's correct here, you need to call Gelvar. As you come down here, you'll see some other stuff like your office name, office phone number. You actually see your office email address. Don't worry about that, okay? That's your broker's email address, and in fact, I'm kind of seeing if we can just hide that there, because I don't think you need to see it. But over here, you can override your office phone number. So if you don't want people calling you at the office phone number, you might have a home office number. You might want them to call you also. So change it here, or simply just take it out and then save it, because maybe just your cell phone is what you want people to call you at, okay? And same thing with your fax number. You can override that and put your home fax number in there instead of the office fax in there, okay? And one other thing I want to show you down here, you'll notice that in the tagline and in additional information, I put in something like my address right here, because you notice there's not really an address showing up anywhere in here. So this address you're going to see on the next tab when I go to, and you're going to see my address. So if I don't have it there, then I don't have my address showing on there, okay? Even though we still have your address for you within a database in Gelvar, so don't think we don't have your address, because we do. It's just this is showing up, you're going to see here in a second when I go to the next banner, header and footer. You'll see it there, and it'll make sense here in a second. And then some people, I've been asked that can I show my license number out there, whatever? Yeah, I just throw it down here in additional information, and you can. I don't see a need to show your license number, but you can if you need to do that there, okay? So what I'm going to do is save this, and remember I took off my office phone, but I left my office fax in here, and I'm going to save this. So that's the first thing. Make sure you save this. Then you're going to go to your header and footer. The header and footer is going to be used on your banner for your portal. So when you email listings to clients, very similar to what we had in Fusion, we had a client gateway, and it had branding, your picture and stuff if you had it on there, your phone number and stuff on there. Well, in MLX or in Matrix, we're going to have something very similar to that, and it's using your banner. And see, there's my address. So some people want to have their address show up on here, and that's where I did. If you remember, when I went back to my information tab, remember I had my address shown down here. So this up here, that's how I got my address in there. Okay. And then over here, remember I took out the office phone number, I left it blank. Well, now it's not showing, just my cell and my fax is showing over here. But when you first come in the header and footer, you're probably not seeing this already set up. Okay, let me show you what you're probably seeing. If I click on select a different package, you're probably seeing this when you first come in. So when you scroll down, you're just going to notice some choices here that you can choose. So I would encourage you to pick one of these to get us started. Okay, just pick one of them that you think is good. You can also upload your own custom header and footer. And if I choose to upload my own, when I go here and upload my images, you can see I can browse my computer, and it needs to be in a 1200 by 85 pixels wide. Okay, it needs to be really, really wide, but not that tall. And then you'll also notice that there's also a print header, and its dimensions are 670 by 85. Okay, so that's what's showing up there. So let me go back though. That's only if you upload your own. Most people in here on this call, I would probably say you're just going to pick one of these basic ones. And I'm going to pick the blue one. And then I'm going to hit preview. And that's where I was at a little bit ago. And you'll notice when you pick that, we actually have two banners. A longer one for the header for your portal on the website, and then a print header, which is shorter, and this is going to be available when you go print listings out. You can have your header on top here, okay? But you won't have your photo in here, so when you come in, it'll have no photo here, and that's one thing that doesn't come over from Fusion is the photo. So all you need to do is put a mark in this custom photo, and then your option here, instead of change photo, it'll say upload photo. So you just click on it, and then you can just browse your computer, find your photo, and then of course you can just crop it and modify it here, okay? And then once you're happy with it, you can just hit the save button, and you've got your photo in there. You're also seeing this darker blue up here. Well, that's being pulled from down here in this bottom color. So when you click on it, you can just pick the color you like. See, first you pick the outer ring color, and then you come in here and you can move it darker, lighter, somewhere in the middle, or more brighter here. And you can see it change right here when I do that. When I change it, see, it just changes it right there. And then this white color you're seeing is way over here called sample text, right over here on the right hand side. That's going to show your client's name. That's where that shows up at, just to let you know. So whatever you want your contact's name to be, just change the color and pick the outer color, and then pick the intensity of it, and then say done, and then their client's name will be in that color that you just chose. Okay. And then obviously save this when you're done. I'm not going to save it. I'm going to have it go back to the color I had before. But that's your header and footer. Next is the mobile header. Now this is when your clients open an email from you on their cell phone, which is probably a lot more often than you realize they're doing. And in Fusion, if you recall, they could open emails from you on their phones, but it never recorded that as a hit to their gateway. Because we keep track of every time your clients would open up emails from you, as long as they were using a computer and going to their portal, their client gateway. Well, in Matrix, we have a mobile version of that portal along with a regular version of that portal. So no matter where they go, phone or not, we keep track of that. And here you can just choose, from that first information tab, you can choose what information you want to show in here. So maybe I want my company name first, and then I want my name. And then underneath my name, I want maybe my phone number there. Okay, and then over here, I want my website address, or I want my email address to show there. So there's not much I can do here. I can say no photo in here, turn it off, or use a custom photo, or upload another one here. But once you're done, just save it. And I think this is a very important one to make sure is looking right too. Okay, so both of these header and footer and the mobile headers, make sure you get set up right. Okay. CMA cover sheet. Once again, change photo. What information do you want to show on your cover sheet there? Portal information. Okay, this is your information your clients will see on you on your portal. So do you want your office name? Do you want your address? Do you want your email address and website address? Do you want to show your active listings and your office listings here, which I think is good. Just open this up. Maybe you want your license number to show. There's how you can put that in there, or just turn it off if you don't want it on there. And make sure you save this one too. Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and save it. Email signature. Okay, email signature. Now, when you first come in here, you're not going to have a picture, and second of all, you'll probably only have your first and last name. That's why it's so important also to come into this one and make sure you get set up, okay? Because we want to make sure we've got your good information on you here, okay? I just need to check something here. Okay, hang on a second. Sounds good, okay. So you want to make sure we have your name in here, your company address, your company name, address, phone numbers, email address, website address, whatever you want. If you already have your signature somewhere else in another email program and it has, let's say, graphics or pictures or your company logo and stuff like that on there, what you could try is to copy it from there and paste it in here. I've been hearing very good results that it's been doing that just fine, okay? So so try that and paste it in here, and that might save you some time. Otherwise, you're just going to type in all this information, and then you're going to just highlight certain things and make it bold, make it italicized, change the font type, change the font size, change the font color, okay? That's how I got my sincerely up here and all that good stuff. Now, once you've already added your photo here or here or here, then let me show you how easy it is to get it into here. I'm going to put my cursor blinking right next to the K in Keith. Then above where it says the fonts, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to use this image option right here, right above the word fonts, image. Then it's going to open up, and you're not going to know what your URL is for your image, but all you need to do is hit the select image option, and it just loads the ones that you had uploaded in those previous tabs. So now I just pick on the one I like, and you'll notice it doesn't have a border around this, and there's no spacing in between this paragraph and my picture. Right here though, you're going to notice there's a border box. So what I can do is put in a 3 or a 4. 34 is kind of big, so maybe just a 4. And you notice I put a border around my photo. I'm just going to go back and make it a 3. Then also, same thing in the H space, which stands for horizontal space. I can put a little spacing in here. I think either a 4 or 5 is good, but not a 45. Okay? And you can do vertical space, which moves it down, And you can do left and the right alignment, but I think that's fine too. So here what I'm just going to do is hit OK. And you can see I've got my picture in there, and I think it looks pretty good. What I might do that vertical space right here. I'm going to double click on my photo and put like maybe a 3 in here. Just have it move down a little bit. Okay, and now what you can see, it did just drop it down a little bit. It looks pretty good there. Okay, and then all you do is when you're done, just save it. So make sure you have your signature in here. Make sure your portal information looks good. Make sure your header and footer is set up, your information here. And just remember back here on this information tab, if everything looks good here and it's still showing up wrong somewhere in Matrix, please call Gelvar and they will make sure of it there. Okay. Agent web page, I really don't want to get into this because that's kind of a advanced feature, but I do want to say for those that have Fusion and you're using your website in Fusion, you'll need to make sure you copy and paste everything out of your website in Fusion, because on June 1st you will lose that. Okay, so if you have some verbiage, you know, if you used the Fusion website, you knew we had the basic messages, whatever. If you have a Fusion website and you like that stuff, copy that and paste it into here, or copy it and paste it somewhere else, like a Word document, because you're going to lose it on June 1st. So I want to make sure you know about that. Okay. Other than that, yes, you can come in and create your own website. You can enable it. We give you your own website name, kind of like Fusion did, but Matrix will have a different address for you. Okay. But for now, I just want to mention that, and hopefully everyone is pretty clear on the My Information tab here. Okay. And I do apologize. I wish I could open this up to questions, but you know, we just got so much more to go in here, so I need to kind of keep going. But that's the first thing. Please make sure your information is updated. Here's the next situation that is very important, and people have been asking, and you need to know this before cutover or even after cutover. We have brought over all of your contacts from Fusion. Okay, so when you click on My Matrix and click on Contacts, all of your contacts are in here from Fusion. Okay, in fact, as you add them into Fusion up from today and even the rest of the week, or till next week until we cut it off, within the hour they come into Matrix. Now Matrix, when you go and add a new contact, you'll notice something different is you need to have 3 pieces of information: first name, last name, and email address. Okay. In Fusion, when you had a contact, you didn't have to give them an email address. Okay. So some people, you didn't have to give an email address in there. Okay. So what happened when we brought those contacts over from Fusion and dropped them into Matrix? They did not have an email address. We gave them your email address. Okay. So when you're looking at your contacts within Matrix, a lot of them might have your email address in there. Okay. So so I just want to mention that there too. And then some people will say, well, when I add a contact, well, what if John Doe doesn't have an email, but I have to still give them one? Well, either give them your email address, or I like to do this: give them a first name, last name at noemail.com. Okay, that's what I like to do, is give them just a generic one that I made up. It satisfies the system, and plus I see the word no email, I'll know they don't have an email address. And also something that's good to know, that clients can have multiple email addresses. Okay, so here you only see one email box, so you're kind of worried that they don't have it. So what you can do is put a comma or a semicolon, and then you can type in, you know, Sally's email address, and so forth. You can do up to 5 email addresses in here, separated by a comma or a semicolon. And then the salutation, you can always change that and make it hi or hello or dear, or you can customize it and type in whatever you like here, like howdy, John and Sally. Okay. Now I could put Sally's name up here, John and Sally, I can also use the show all fields box right here, and then put Sally's name or their kids' names in here, or whatever I like, and I can do their address and business address and notes and stuff in here. Okay, so I'll just cancel that. So that's the first thing I want to mention, is that we have already brought over your contacts, and if they didn't have an email address, we gave them yours, and then when you add new contacts into here from this day forward, you can give multiple email addresses, and I showed you how you can do if they don't have an email address. Okay, now that's your contacts. The next thing I really want to make sure you know, and this is something you can start right now, don't wait until Wednesday to do this. Save searches, okay? I'm going to explain the difference between an auto email and a save search. Save searches. If you click on save searches, you'll notice that we brought over your searches from Fusion. Now, they are not all here yet. When we brought over those searches from Fusion, it was like late March. I want to say March 28th, somewhere in that time frame. Okay, so if you've done new searches in Fusion, and or not just done them, but just saved new searches in Fusion after that day, they are not yet in Matrix. They will be here on June 1st, but they're not here yet. Okay. So just remember that you're only seeing those that we brought over back in late March, but the newer ones, or all of them, will be here. Now, it's also important to know that we brought over every single search that you had in Fusion, and some people didn't realize they had searches going back to 2002, 2003. Okay, because some people have been using ML Exchange and in Fusion, and now we're bringing those searches into here. So if you haven't deleted those searches and you still had them in the system, we're pulling them over here. Okay, so they're all coming over. But here is your homework assignment. We have labeled the ones that we imported from Fusion with a little plus sign here. The ones with the plus sign means that they were auto prospecting, or they were active searches in Fusion. Okay, hopefully everyone knows what that means, is that in Fusion you could save a search, link it to a client, and then activate it, and it runs for 180 days, and it finds new matches, price changes, and things like that to your clients. Okay, well, we tag those with the plus sign. So if you've got searches in here and they don't have a plus sign, chances are you probably don't need that search. Okay, in fact, you can look over here and see the last time that you ran it, and you might notice that, I haven't run some of these for, 6 years. Okay, so the ones you probably need to focus on are the ones with the plus sign. What you're going to need to do, if you want to, if this search for Justin and Sue for Aliante, you need to activate it in Matrix. Okay, because that's the difference between a saved search and an auto email. Saved searches are not doing anything. They are not auto prospecting. They are not active. They are inactive searches. They're turned off. Auto emails are active searches. They're auto prospecting. They're finding new matches here. Okay, so these are active searches that are auto prospecting or auto emailing, and these are inactive searches that are not doing anything. They're just there for you. Okay, so your homework that you need to start working on, which you can start today. In fact, some people have started this back in January. They've started converting some of these searches. You're going to need to go and start turning them on, because we will not turn those on in Matrix. You will have to turn those on and start doing it now. So this one for Justin and Sue, let me show you how easy it is to turn it on. I'm under Save Searches. I got 21 of them, and I'm going to use this Aliante one right here because it has a plus sign. When I click on it, I'm going to go to Settings. And by the way, you can see the criteria here, so that way it kind of just, you can double check it. And if you're not sure that everything got pulled over correctly, you can always run the results and get the list just to see, just to have confirmation that you feel like everything came over correctly for you. Okay. Then you can, all you need to do is go to Settings. Here's that search for Justin and Sue. Right up here is what I call the magic button. You're going to turn the save search into an auto email. When you click on that, now it opens up. You see Justin and Sue. You see all their email addresses. You can see a blind carbon copy of, or do you want a blind carbon copy you of all these new matches it finds? Okay, some people say no, don't do it. Some people say, yeah, I want to get that. Give it a name. Well, if I called this search before Aliante community, might want to call it the same thing here. Then when you scroll down, once I save this here in a minute, Justin and Sue will get an email welcoming to the portal with this generic message here. You can change and modify this message to whatever you like. And if you do, take this out and type in your own message. Please click the link below to activate this search. And you don't want to have to type that message in over and over again. Right down here, there's a little settings wheel that I can set that as my default message, and I won't have to do that again. Okay, it'll be like that for everyone, not just Justin and Sue. After they open up this welcome message, the next emails they'll see are just the recurring one that says, hey, something's changed, go check it out. You can modify this message too, and maybe even put a reminder. Remember to save, reject, and leave notes on listings, okay? And you can save this as your default recurring message, and you won't have to do that one again, okay? And then you scroll down, there's your signature. You can say, send us as soon as possible, or send us just once a day in the morning, or send it once a day but in the evening, or send it twice a day. And it will only send it once or twice a day or as soon as possible if it finds anything. If it doesn't find anything, it'll just wait until it finds something, okay? I just want to make a mention of this now. We'll come back and show you this later, but enable concierge mode. That is going to be for those people who do not want the client to see it first. So if I come down here to the schedule and I say ASAP, daily, once a day, twice a day, or monthly, it's going to go to that client, Justin and Sue in this case. But if I don't want Justin and Sue to see it before I look at it, what you're going to want to do is enable the concierge mode. Okay, then it doesn't go to them, and then you'll see it here on my home page that you've got new matches for you. So just remember that concierge mode, okay, and we'll see that again. But for right now, I just want them to get this as soon as possible. Then I'm going to hit save, and now it's saved. And now remember, I had 21 saved searches here, and I had one of them for Justin and Sue. Well, I've still got one here for Justin and Sue, but it's the one in Pahrump there. So that one in Aliante is not in this list anymore. Where did it go? Well, it jumped over into the active searches or the auto emails. When I come here, see Justin and Sue, Aliante community, it is now an auto email. It has a white circle. The white circle means that they were sent that welcome message, but they have not yet clicked on that link to activate it yet. And we're going to sit here and wait and wait and wait. Now, they've got about 30 days or so to click on that link. Okay, as soon as they click on that link, it turns green. Okay, as soon as it turns green, it will never expire. In Fusion, it would just keep on running, or it'd run for 180 days, and you had to keep extending it. Well, it will never expire as long as your client is actively looking at it. So as long as your client looks at it at least one time in that 30-day period, they'll get 30 more days. And they look at it again, they'll get 30 more days. And it'll go on forever and ever as long as they're looking at it. Now, once it gets close to that 30-day window, I believe, and I need to check this, but you should get a message saying that Justin and Sue haven't been there in 20-something days, and we're about to turn it off. Okay, you will get something on that 30th day when it gets turned off. okay? And we'll let you know that we turned it off, and then it turned red, okay? Then it gets red and it was disabled. And all you have to do to reactivate it once it turns red, all you have to do is click on it, go to settings, and this one doesn't have a client linked up to it. But you'll just be able to enable it again. That's all you do to turn it right back on, okay? So let me go through and we'll come back even into the auto emails again. So let's just recap that last bit of information I told you. Your homework assignment is to go to your saved searches. Start with the ones with the plus sign here, okay? So let me do this other one for Justin and Sue. Because it has a plus sign, it means it was actively running in Fusion. So I'm going to probably want to turn this one on. So I click on it. I go to settings. I use the magic button that turns a saved search into an auto email. Then you come down here and just give it a name. If I called it Perump listings before, I'll call it that again. If I had already changed this message and I saved it as my default, that message would have already been changed here too. I didn't save it though last time. And same thing with my recurring. If I had saved it as my default down here, I wouldn't have to change that one either here. And then I come down here and then I do the same thing. ASAP once a day, twice a day, or if I don't want them to get it, I would just enable the concierge mode. Okay, we'll talk about that one. So I'll save it. And that one for Justin and Sue is not in my list for saved searches. It jumped over and see right up here, updated auto email Perump listings. It is now under auto emails. And now both of those have been activated and they have both been sent a welcome message to their auto emails in here, okay? Another place I can find it, I can go up to My Matrix contacts and I can click on Justin and Sue's name here and I can see that they have 2 auto emails right here and there they are, okay? So you can find them that way also, okay? Now, let's say you want to, let's say, okay, just making sure got everything set up here right, okay? Let's say I want to stop that auto email, okay? Let's say Justin and Sue have already bought a house, or let's say they want to take a time out, okay? Maybe something happened, they're going on vacation for a few weeks. So what you could do is just put a check mark here and you could, well, you could delete it and that would stop it, but it's completely gone if you delete it. I'm just going to disable it. When you hit disable, you hit OK. Now it gets that red exclamation point and it says disabled by agent, which means I stopped it, okay? You'll also see disabled by due to inactivity. Disabled due to inactivity means the client hasn't been there in 30 days. Also, let's say Justin and Sue, notice it's still white here. Let's say it's been a week now and it's still white. And honestly, I wouldn't wait that long. I'd give them a few days, and if it's still white, you might want to call them up and say, hey, what happened? I sent you some listings. You haven't clicked on that link. Is everything okay? What you could do, if you need to, say, look, let me resend you this welcome message again, okay? Because it can go to their spam folder the first time. So you might want to have them check their spam or their not trash, but junk mail folder, okay? So you can resend it here if you need to, okay? But let's say they want me to turn it back on. Maybe they're back from vacation. They want me to reactivate it. So what I'm going to do is just click on it, go to settings, and then when I come down here, I'll turn it back on again, enable it, okay? And then when I hit save, it's now saved. It's a white circle again, which means I'm waiting for them to click on it. And as soon as they do, it turns white. Okay? So hopefully it's that simple, you guys. Oh, and if they bought a house and I don't want it to be an auto email, yes, I could select it and I could delete it and that would stop it. 2, I could select it and I could disable it and that would stop it. But I want to show you a third option. I want to take it out of my auto emails and I want to move it back to my saved searches. Remember how I had it as a saved search and I moved it into my auto emails? Now it's an auto email and I want to move it back to the saved searches. So watch this. I'm going to do the same steps. I'm in an auto email with 8. I go to the prompt listings. I go to settings. I go right up here to turn this auto email into a saved search. And now I'm doing the opposite. I'm turning it back into a saved search. So now I just give it a same name, still for Justin and Sue, and save it. Now I have 7 instead of 8, and that 1 for Justin and Sue is not here. In fact, I'll do this one too. I'll click on it, go to settings, turn this auto email into a saved search. And now I give it a name. Okay. Okay, let's save it here. And now it's not here. Where is it? It's back to being a good old-fashioned saved search, which is an inactive search. Okay? So that's your homework assignment. Please, now, if I activated these searches from Fusion, they will still be getting auto emails or the auto prospecting searches in Fusion at least until through the day on Monday. Monday is the last day that people can add listings in Fusion. So for about 5 more days here or so, if I don't turn those off in Fusion, Justin and Sue will get a new match in Matrix, and they'll also get a new match in Fusion. But come Monday night, that's the last day people can add listings in Fusion. So after that, do I need to stop it in Fusion? No, because you won't even be able to get into Fusion. So if you do start some of these now, you might want to go in and either delete or turn off those searches that are in Fusion. Okay, so so we'll do that there. Okay, so so I just want to show you that. Just make sure if you start turning them on now for Crystal or Eddie or whoever, turn them off in Fusion. But if you wait until Monday night, you won't have to worry about turning them off in Fusion. Okay. And then on June 1st, remember, whatever we didn't import over from Fusion, they will be here. The rest of them will be in here by Wednesday. Okay, so then you'll have the rest of them get started. And like I said, just start with the ones with the plus sign. Okay, they don't have a plus. Not saying that you don't need these, because maybe some of these you might want to activate also, but at least we identified the ones that were auto prospecting in Fusion there. Okay. Let's start from scratch. Let's say we get a brand new person today. Okay, and I want to do a search form. I want to save that search form. I want to turn it into an auto email, an auto prospecting search. Let's start from scratch. Well, the first thing you could do is go up to My Matrix, go to Contacts, and you could add that contact. Okay, but you don't have to. In fact, I'm just going to cancel that. Okay, you don't have to go that route, but you certainly can. And this was the same steps that you could have done this in Fusion also, same steps. You could start right at the beginning and do a search for that person. Let's say I got a new person in here. I don't know, Phil. I'm just saying, I'm thinking of the new person here, Phil. Phil is a new client of mine. I forgot to add him to my contact list. So I'm going to go into search and do a search for Phil. Here, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to single family. He wants detached. I'm going to keep this really simple from the start. I'm just going to pick something in Anthem. I'm going to pick a price range of 400,000 to 600,000. Real quick, let me explain some of these fields on searching. This is different from Fusion. If I type in 400 there, that means exactly $400,000, no more, no less. And see my results down here? I've got 0 matches. If I want 400,000 or less, I put a minus sign there. Now I've got 118 matches that are 400,000 or less. If I say 400-600, that means between 400 and 600,000, and now I've got 37 matches. If I say 400 plus, that means 400,000 to infinity, and now I've got 114 matches that are 400,000 or more. If I hover over that question mark, it'll tell me that's how you enter it. If I want exactly or range or more than or less than, that's how you do it. Same thing for bedrooms. If I type in 3 bedrooms here, that means exactly 3 bedrooms. If I say 3 minus, it means 3 or less. If I say 3 to 5, between 3 and 5. If I say 3 plus, it means 3 or more. Same thing with total bath, square feet, garages, whatever you've got your field, your built, okay? Whatever you have there, that's what that means. So what Phil's looking for is active. In fact, I'm going to take out contingent. He just wants active, single family, detached, in Anthem, 400,000 or more, 3 or more bedrooms. Pretty simple. I could map them if I want, see where they're mapped at. I could go to results. Okay, there's 86 of them. I could go back to criteria if I want, and I could say, instead of, let's put a limit, 400 to 600,000. Okay, he's rich, but he's not that rich. And then I can go back to results. So you can keep toggling back and forth, results, getting the defaults there. Now, I've got my list. I got 24 of them. I feel pretty comfortable about this. Now what I want to do is save this search. I'm going to save it. Now save it as a new save search. Remember, it won't activate. It won't be an auto prospecting one. I want this to auto prospect from this moment forward. So every time it finds a new match based on this criteria, I want Phil to get it there. Okay. So I'm going to click on new auto email. I'm going to come up here and oops, Phil is not in my list. That's all right. I can just add Phil to my list right here. So I'm going to give him a first name, Phil Peterson. I'm just thinking of someone here. His email address is just phil@something.com. Remember, you can give him up to 5 of them in here. I can change the salutation to hi, hello, or even customize it. I can show more fields, but for now, I'm just going to save it. Then I give it, do I want to blind carbon copy me on these auto emails? That's up to you. Here, I'm going to say, I'm going to call this one Anthem between 400-600K, and I'll type in single family residential. Here's his welcome message. Remember, I showed you can always change it, and there's a recurring one you can change it. I could just change it this one time just for Phil, or I can lock it down and it'll be changed for everyone, not just Phil. Then I can scroll on down. There's my signature. I could send it to Phil ASAP, send it to Phil once or twice a day. But you know what? This case, Phil's one of those different type of clients. He's looking for something, let's say white kitchen cabinets. I cannot find, there's no way that I know of without looking at the pictures of the listings to email him just white kitchen cabinets. So what I'm going to do on this case is I'm going to enable the concierge mode. And remember, when I enable the concierge mode, he does not get these until I approve them. So watch what happens in my schedule here. When I enable the concierge mode, the schedule goes away. And what Matrix will do, it'll alert me on the home page when it finds new matches, and I'll get an email when there's a new match there. So what I'll do is go ahead and hit save, and it's going to take me to a list of all those houses for me to start approving. And there's 24 of them here, okay? And you should probably start approving or rejecting them right here. But let me go back to the home page and show you something. Back here on the home page, you're going to have this new gadget, new widget that you probably don't have right now. You're going to have one that says your client's name with 24 listings waiting for your approval. So Phil will never see these houses until I approve them for him. So in this case, I have to do a little extra work. I have to go and look at these listings. And in Phil's case, I need to open this up, scroll through, and look at the pictures of the kitchen, and it's a beautiful house, you guys, but it doesn't have white kitchen cabinets. So Phil's not going to like that house. So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to reject it. When I reject it, he never sees those listings. If this house, and that house have white kitchen cabinets, then I just select it and I approve them, and boom, he sees those 3 houses there. Okay. Now, just as you know, watch this, you guys. If I select one house and I approve it, and then I select another house and I approve it, and then I select another house and I approve it, there's nothing wrong with doing it that way, but that client, Phil, just got 3 separate emails from me, okay? What I would do, which I think is a little better, is select all the approvals first, or select them all at one time and approve it at one time, okay? But if you're doing the opposite, if you're selecting these houses because he won't like these houses, then you could reject them, and there you could reject them one at a time. That won't matter, okay? Rejecting them one at a time might be what you do first. You might want to reject them all at one time, and then the ones that are left are the ones that you just need to select all and approve all at one time. Okay, so then we'll email you when it finds a new match for you, and then all you need to do is just look at them. Whether you need to click on the MLS number to see the full information on that house, and this way you can even scroll through and look at them all this way. Okay, or change it from the full view to maybe the 12 photo gallery view and look at them this way. Okay, so then that way you might want to scroll down and see all the pictures, and I can see right here it doesn't have white kitchen cabinets. So so in that case I could just select it and reject it right here. Okay, I'm going to switch it right back to that single line view though. Now the beauty of using this concierge mode in Matrix is that after you've been working with them for weeks and weeks and months, if they change their mind, you can come back and see all the listings that you have rejected, and now you could select them and approve them out here for them. Okay, now you can only unreject them if they're still available, because after months and weeks out there, some of these houses that I rejected may not be available anymore. Okay, so they won't be here for me, but if they're still available, I can go through and approve them out there. So I really do like the concierge mode. It is a little extra work on my behalf, but it's a way that you can go out and look at them before your clients do. Okay, so I think the concierge is pretty neat there. Okay, we'll get in a little bit more advanced stuff here on searching also here. Okay, and now when I go to my Matrix contacts, guess who I have in my list? Phil Peterson. And see right here, he's got an auto email right there. Okay. I do want to show you this, recent searches. We keep a list of all the recent searches that you have done. Okay. So we remember all 50 of them, your recent searches. So if you've done some in the last day or so, you can come down here. You can see, yep, on Monday at 10:53, I ran a search. Let me click on it, and boom, there's my search that I pulled up there. Okay. So I think recent search is a really, really cool option there. Something else, in fact, let me use the back button up here. Remember that was the back button was always the no-no to do in Fusion? Well, you can do the back button in Matrix. Okay, so that's going to be a huge plus, is using the back button on Matrix. Okay, and by the way, I should have maybe said this at the beginning, but you can log into Matrix on your iPads, on your tablets, on your cell phones. All you need to do is type in LAS, okay, .mlsmatrix.com on your cell phone's browser. It is not an app, so it's very flexible and mobile. Pulled up on many computers there. Okay. Let's see what okay. I'm doing a search. Let's say I'm in the middle of a search for John, and now Sally wants to call me up and wants me to do a search for her. Well, in Fusion, we had a neat little system where we had multiple tabs. You can just click on that little green plus sign and open up more and more and more search tabs. Well, we don't have that in Matrix, but here's how you can do this virtually the same thing. I know what right now in Matrix, if I come and I click on residential, I'm going to lose this search back here for John. So before I click on residential or high-rise or any property type, before I click on it, if I hold down my control button and then click on this, and then click on it, notice what happened up here? It opened up a new tab. I'm not sure if you guys can see my tabs up here, but I just have John search, but it just recreated a new search and took me straight to a new search for Sally. And I can do that again. I can go up to My Matrix Contacts, and before I click on it, hold down the control button and click on it. If you're on a Mac, you hold down the command button and then click on it. There's something else you can do. Instead of holding down the control or a command on the Mac, you can right-click on it. If you right-click, then you can say Open in a new tab. So you can have as many Matrix tabs open at one time and multitask in here for you, okay? So I just want to make sure you understand that part there. I think that's very cool and very needed to know too, because a lot of people like that in Fusion, okay? So recent searches up here, you've got the, just hold down the control or right click and you can open up multiple tabs. Something else I want to show you real quick, since we got about 6 minutes left, this speed bar up here. The speed bar, you can type in MLS numbers. 161, 2, 3, 4, 5, enter. There's your listing. Put a space or a comma and type in as many MLS numbers that you want here. Okay, so you can just keep on typing space and a comma or a comma in between MLS numbers and get as many MLS numbers. You can also do this. Type in an address, 3521 Freestone. Okay, and there you go. If there was more listings at that address, like an active one and a history one, I would have found them. Okay, so there was only one in the last 10 years on that address, 3521 Freestone. If you don't know the address, you just know Freestone, you can just click on or type in Freestone, and now I got 23 listings on Freestone. Okay, what I could do is say Freestone space A for active, and there's no active ones on Freestone. I could do Freestone AC for active contingent, and there's no active or contingent. How about pending? Nope, no pending. How about sold? Yep, 2 sold ones on Freestone. Okay, so I really like that. So you could do something like Tropicana. Okay, and when I do my search, I got 1,654. If I put an A there, now there's only 26 active ones on Tropicana. Notice I just said Tropicana, not west or east. So don't type in west or east in there, just Tropicana. And then I can even do res and drop that down to 16 listings that are residential active on Tropicana. Okay. Let's show you a little bit more advanced here. I can say A for active, res, $ 200-300 space Henderson. Enter. Now I've got active residential between 2 and 300,000 on Henderson right here, 397 of them. I could change res to single family, and now I've got 336. I could also add in 3 plus space 2 plus, and that's going to give me 3 or more bedrooms, 2 or more total baths. Do my search. You could type it in any order up here. Also, I didn't have to type it in that way. Instead of Henderson, I could have done 606. Instead of 606, I could have done zip code 89012. Okay, we do have a question mark right here. You open this up, and we have all kinds of shortcut examples for you. Okay, so there are lots of things you can do in there. Okay, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, it tells you how to do the dollar amount. So remember I said earlier 200-300. Here I could say 200 plus. It means 200,000 or more. 200 minus $200 or 200,000 or less. and 200-400 is between. Okay, so you can't do everything up there, but you can do a lot of the basics up there. Okay. Okay, so let's see what else we can do in here. Let's see here. Let's just go to let's go back to home page. You could do your searching here in this section here, but I actually like the speed bar better. Okay, but you can still do this. One benefit you can do in here I can do a street number. Maybe I know it's 333, but don't know the street. Okay, now I found any listing with 333 in it. Okay, I couldn't do that in the speed bar. Okay. If I go to search residential, some very, very important things you need to know is, well, first of all, you notice every time I go to search residential, it has contingent always in here. Well, watch this. I don't like that. I keep taking that out all the time. In fact, not only do I take that out most of the time, I also add in single family. So what you could do is lock this down to the way you want it to start with every time you click on it. So watch this. I only have active, took out contingent, and I have single family here. So now if I come up here, see right here, there's that little settings wheel right there for me. If I click on that, I can make this my starting defaults. And I get a little confirmation up here. So now if I go to search residential, contingent is not there and single family is there. I don't have to keep changing this all the time. Okay, so I think that's a really cool feature. Okay, single family. Now how do I pick multiple items in here? Okay, I want single family and condos. You got to hold down the control button to pick them both. Hold down the control button and keep on clicking. Click on it again. Hold down the control button and click on it again, gets rid of it. Okay, so by holding down that control button, I can unselect it. Let me select it though. I can also open up this drop box here and pick my areas up here. Okay, maybe, oh, I'm sorry, this is community names. Okay, I get my area numbers over here. I could just type in 101, comma, 201, comma, 301. Okay. Street names, searching by street names. If I say Maple, that means, let me say Maple asterisk. What Maple asterisk, this is a wild card, okay? This is going to happen whenever you want to search by a street name, subdivision name, or let's say remarks, okay? Some of these searching we probably won't cover today because we're out of time, but come back to that searching webinar, which I believe is tomorrow, and we'll go into a lot more details on searching, more complicated stuff in here, okay? But that right there is Maple asterisk, which means everything that starts with Maple, I found it. Maple Mesa, Maple Leaf, Maple Hill. If I put my asterisk before and after it, now that's a contains, okay? Contains the word maple. If I go to my results, now I found Norway maple, full moon maple, mountain maple, along with Maple Leaf and Maple Hill and Maple Mesa there, okay? So that's going to be very, very important using those asterisks. Depends. Asterisks before and after, you'll get a lot more results. Same thing with subdivision names. I really encourage you to, when you do your subdivision name, make sure you do the asterisk before and after it there, okay? If you don't, just do one or the other. That actually right there is ends with. I know it ends with Crystal Springs. I just don't know what it starts with. Or if you put it after, I know it starts with Crystal Springs. I just don't know what it ends with. But it's always best, you'll get more results if you do before and after, okay? So now that's different. That's only with alphanumeric fields. Back here on price, remember we did the plus and the minus in there, okay? That's going to apply to your baths and square feet living, square foot. And if you look at this, there might be some fields that I want to search by, but I just don't see it, like lot description or property description. Well, if I come down here at the bottom, I can add or remove more fields. And now in Fusion, you could add new fields. If you come in here and you want to search by something like applicant, you would highlight it, you would add it to your list, and it would be there at the bottom of your list in Fusion. But the next time you came back to do a search, this field that you just added is gone, and you would have to add it again and again. But this will permanently be here until you remove it. Okay, so you just have to go back in, select it, and take it out, and take out whatever you don't like. Okay, otherwise they permanently stay there. So that's a little different too. So as we end this here, I just want to make sure you know that we just went over a lot of the basic stuff. We still have results here. So when I get the results, you can just select these listings, and then you can email them. Okay, and let me cancel that there. You could print these out, and when you go to print, you can say, you know what, I want my header at the top of this. Maybe you want the agent gallery. Maybe you want the agent full. Hold down the control button, tax report and history report, and then you could print this. Or there's two print buttons. I would use them both. See how it looks like when you print this way, and see how they print that way. And then you can have your banner turned on here too. Okay. For the appraisers, we do have the 1004 market summary conditions down here, the MC reports. Okay. You can customize and create your own grids. We have videos on that. We'll probably talk about that one in some of our other classes too. Here you can change it and go to the full view right here and look at these listings in a full view and so forth there. So that's pretty much it, you guys. This is just a quick overview. I think it was very thorough. We went exactly an hour because I started about 3 or 4 minutes after. Please sign up for more of those classes. Then we can get more detailed, more specific onto a lot of these ultimate stuff. But we will post this video, so please pass the word around and people can watch it again if they need to. And please encourage them to take more of these webinars also, okay? They will be recorded and we will post those there. So I just want to thank you for your time. Appreciate your time, and I really think you guys are going to like Matrix. It's going to be a learning curve, but I think looking back, you'll be thankful for it. Okay? All right. Thanks, you guys. Have a good evening.